I have no idea. And it's, again, Jinder is a very interesting player in all this. Again, because last year when he came in out of nowhere for India, or because of his body, or a combination of both, whatever, he brought out decent random matches with some of these top level guys that we never would have thought before. I thought he had some decent matches with Randy Orton, but this is definitely not just Randy Orton. This is not a guy who's going to have a crisp match that looks okay. This is Roman Reigns, where you're going to be expected to really be at the top of your game. So there's a big cliff if he to fall off of if he doesn't perform well. It could be a big disaster if it doesn't go well.
Well, my thoughts are they're going to expect that they did the right thing here and made Jinder Mahal the heel to face Roman to get cheers, and I think that Jinder's going to get the cheers coming out in this match, and that's going to be exact opposite of what they want. I don't mind the match either, because I actually think Jinder's a decent worker.
I agree.
I've enjoyed his heel run because it gave him something fresh, and he was a new character, and he's been good.
And he embraced it, and I liked the character addition with the Singh brothers. Although, is the other one going to be back in time
he's still
for this
injured.
Roman match?
I don't think he'll be back in time for that.
Okay.
He's still got a ways to go with the injury, but
because what the hell, Roman can beat up those guys too, and that's 3 guys he's beaten at once. Let's do whatever we can.
I don't know. Whatever. They're gonna have him be the fodder to get him out of wrestling Brock Lesnar right away. Then we'll just have to wait and see what happens next, because they got another pay-per-view and then SummerSlam coming up to build up to that rematch that I think, unfortunately, we're going to see in Brock versus Roman. But my hope is that what I'd like to see, and I know a couple of people, PW Insider had mentioned this too in one of their hotlines as to what they'd like to see. I'd like to see Braun Strowman win the Money in the Bank ladder match and declare that he is challenging Brock Lesnar right away at SummerSlam for that title. Not even allowing Roman to have a chance. Just have Braun claim he's doing it and cash in at that time. That would be my ideal situation.
I don't know if it would be. I mean, I like the idea of him just declaring. I don't know when the best would be. I guess SummerSlam to get the biggest draw, and I mean the fans are definitely going to be behind Braun in Brooklyn. But I think it is the right idea for him to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Anything with him has been money, whether it's a funny angle, whether he's tipping cars over, whether he's with kids at WrestleMania. Him with a briefcase that Braun Strowman can come out of nowhere and win, like. He doesn't need a distraction or to be an ultimate opportunist to win the match.
Right.
He is the opportunity. He can cash in. He might as well hand him the title, which I think is a great dynamic.
Yeah, I think Braun Strowman winning the Money in the Bank ladder match and having that contract is the scariest thing for any champion. Because you can go out there and have a grueling fight, especially if Roman wins the title. I mean, he gets his butt kicked every match. Imagine him getting his butt kicked every match, finding a way to win, and then having Braun Strowman come out and beat the crap out of him.
He did, and the best part would be he wouldn't even have to actually do any. Braun could tease every match Roman has on Raw, any promo. Braun could just walk into the frame and show him the briefcase, and that's automatically more fun than any Roman Reigns storyline we've seen to this point. Because he would just cower in fear. There's your story.
Absolutely, and that would be one saving grace for him with a title run. But I'm hoping so too. Let's quick run down SmackDown results because we have more Money in the Bank ladder match qualifiers. SmackDown opens with The Miz defeating Jeff Hardy, non-title match, to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Charlotte Flair comes out and defeats Peyton Royce to get revenge for the Iconics beatdown on her, and also qualify for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Cesaro defeats Xavier Woods. Mandy Rose defeats Becky Lynch. Kind of an upset, I thought. It was an interesting one. I liked it. And Rusev defeats Daniel Bryan to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. This was an interesting one, too. So, quickly, the Money in the Bank ladder match competitors currently in are Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Rusev, with 4 more slots to go in that match. And in the women's, we only have 2 filled, and that's Charlotte Flair and Ember Moon have been the 2 women who have qualified so far for the Money in the Bank ladder matches. So I don't know if they announced if they're going to have 8 as well.
I would think they have at least 6.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But right now they have 2 there and 4 in the men's. with 4 slots to go. The one thing that people are speculating on now is we saw a lot of vignettes of people saying they're going to get in the Money in the Bank ladder match. A lot of tag teams. So there's speculation that they might do a tag team Money in the Bank ladder match. What do you think about that?
I absolutely love that idea because, one, I don't know how they would do it. Like, you got two guys going from a different team for one briefcase. Like, what if it drops? There's so many different things you can play off of, and because we've had ladder matches for titles before, but an opportunity is so different. And could you imagine a tag team cashing in? Do you need one guy to do it? Do you need the whole team? They make it a handicap match. They beat up half the other team. I think the idea is great, and I hope they do it. And I think it plays well with the fact that they're doing only one for the men, one for the women, and it combines brands. I think this is the best possible. If you do 3 ladder matches, I don't think it's too many. But if you had one for Raw and one for SmackDown for both Raw or for men and women, that'd have been too many. But one, and one for each division, I like.
Yeah, I am intrigued by it because I think it offers some fascinating possibilities. 3 ladder matches is going to be hard on a show, but hey, TNA did all cage matches, and some of those shows were actually pretty darn good. So maybe it'll be fine. But I like the idea of a tag team getting a Money in the Bank shot because it's a good shot in the arm to the tag team division because, let's face it, the tag team division kind of stinks right now because it's the same 3 or 4 teams the whole time and there's no one's getting into the mix. So I'd like for them to do something to get a shot in the arm to the tag team division. I think this is a good way to do it. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm excited. I hope they actually pull the trigger on this because I think it'd be interesting to see. Definitely a different dynamic.
I agree. I hope they do it.
All right. Well, that's about all the topics I had listed here, Juice. And I think the one thing I did want to mention here, breaking news over the last day, is we have a couple injuries to talk about. One of them being Charlotte Flair. She has a couple injuries. One kind of a common thing for women in wrestling that we don't hear about often, and one pretty harsh one. We'll talk about the first one. She will be going off the tour to do a couple publicity things, and then afterwards she will be going in to have surgery on her implant because it ruptured on her. So that's never fun, but a very common thing to happen with women wrestlers because, let's face it, you got silicone in there and they'll easily pop when you're bumping so hard. So that's one. And then last night at the show in the UK, Carmella and Charlotte were wrestling each other, and Carmella busted Charlotte's teeth.
Oh, wow.
There was a video going around that went viral when a fan had gotten a video of her meeting Charlotte, and Charlotte says, "I can't take a picture because I lost my front teeth."
Wow.
So that was interesting. She had some surgery this morning to repair that, and will be flying back to the States now to do some promotional tours before going in and getting the other thing taken care of. So, youch! Charlotte's having an interesting week.
Yeah, but wrestling's fake, so there's just, the teeth, all the work. All the work.
Exactly. No, everyone can fake that.
But the other thing, I drew a quick note, the theme of this whole first episode here, I don't know if it's fatigue or anything, but you've worked how many different shows in this last month and a half? You expect something to go wrong. And the fact that it happens now, you made it through all these shows, and now it happens. It could have been a worse time because now you got to try to run to SummerSlam, and you don't want anybody injured going to the next big show you got going.
That's very true. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Charlotte now, since I would imagine she was going to be ready for a feud with Carmella again, but we'll see what happens. She'll be off TV, I would assume, for at least the next week or two to kind of put over maybe the knee injury, although she wrestled the next night, so who knows. We'll have to wait and see where it goes from there. All right, well, Juice, I think that's going to close out the show for us on our first episode. I think we did a good job. I think it's fun. I hope you all enjoyed it out there listening, whether you have caught us live, which I hope some of you did, or whether you go get us on iTunes or in the archives here. We will be coming to you again next Friday, 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 Eastern. And I think we'll put the Brock Lesnar conversation on the board for that week because I think there's a good conversation to be had about that.
I agree. I think that'll be a good topic to have on the docket.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone joining the Weekly Suplex. We look forward to talking about all things wrestling once again next week. Find us on Twitter. I am at Brian Thomas 878, and he is at Juicy Steen. That's Juicy Steen. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
It is exhausting being so talented.